we are going to be spending another bookish weekend together. Do a bit of book browsing. Get some reading in. Oh my god. Now this video is mostly going to be focused on tomorrow and Sunday, but I wanted to do the introduction this evening because tomorrow morning I just want to get up, get ready and get going because I am very excited. Now tomorrow afternoon I'm going to a silent book club, but that starts at 3 p.m. So since the weather's nice, I figured I would head to a park and do some reading at said park. Now that might not sound like something to be very excited about, but it's something that I've been wanting to do this summer, and since the weather's nice, I figured it's the perfect time to do so. So I will be heading into London. Now I don't want to necessarily do any book shopping. I might do some window shopping and browsing, but there aren't any specific books that I want to get right now. I'm currently reading a couple of different series. I'm in the process of reading them and I have the rest of the books already at home to continue reading them. So there's nothing really specific that I want to get, but you never know, we'll see. But I don't want the focus of tomorrow or this weekend in general to be about book shopping. I do want to get quite a bit of reading done. So the plan is to head into London. I'm going to go to a park and do some reading, and then I haven't decided if I want to get some food and have like a picnic or if I want to do my reading at a park and then head to a cafe to eat. I haven't quite decided which of those I'm going to do. I'm leaning a little bit more towards reading at the park and then going to a cafe to eat because I think that will just break up the day a little bit more. So I think I'm going to do that, and then after that I will be heading to the silent book club, which I'm so excited about. I went to one last week and another one a few weeks ago, and I've just been really enjoying them. It's been a nice way to get out and read somewhere new. And then on Sunday, I want to update my book journal. Now, I don't think my 2026 TBR needs updating. Does it? No, this is pretty much updated. Okay, the only books that I might consider getting are the Hunger Games series because that is a series that I want to read. I've never read the Hunger Games, but I want to read them and rewatch the movies that are out because I think that would be quite fun to do and to vlog. So I might get those. I don't know if I'll get those this weekend, but that's something that I could potentially get. But I haven't quite decided which editions of those I want yet, so I'm not quite sure. But I don't think this really needs updating. What I actually want to update is firstly my May TBR. When I updated this last time, I hadn't quite completed all of the books on here, but now that I have, I can update that with my book reviews and any other things that I want on there. And then I want to set up my summer TBR. Now, normally I do a monthly TBR. However, because I'm in the middle of a few different book series and I've been really enjoying reading multiple books at the same time and just being able to jump between different books and series, I therefore want to set up a whole summer TBR rather than a monthly TBR because I think it will give me more space to do that, to jump from different series, different books, and just have a little bit more room to do that. So I do want to set up my summer TBR. I do have a pretty good idea of the books that I want to read and prioritize over summer, but I also want to give some space to pick up any new ones that I hear of. So I do want to update that on Sunday. Now, in terms of reading this weekend, I'm currently reading 3 different books. First, we have Lady of Embers, which is the 4th book in the Lady of Darkness series. Now, my thoughts on the book so far, I think about 40% of the way through. And I like the world building mostly. I really enjoy the cast of characters that we have and the multiple POVs. I really, really like that. However, something is just missing and I don't know what it is, but something just isn't quite there. Now, I've had issues with the FMC and the MMC in their relationship since the first book. I like the characters, but their relationship I just get a little bit bored of, and I wish some of the chapters that we had that were focused on them were instead focused on other relationships or dynamics instead. So I don't know if that is what is bringing it down, but that hasn't been irritating me that much in this book. So I think there's something else that I'm not quite liking or isn't quite gripping me yet, but I can't put my finger on it, which is really irritating me. This is the 4th book in a 5-book series, with the 5th book being Lady of Starfire, and there's also a spin-off series that I think is interconnected to this. So this is like the first series that you read and then there's another series that you read after this. However, I don't think I'm going to read the interconnected series. I mean, to be honest, it really depends on how Lady of Starfire goes. If I end up really loving this and I want to continue learning and experiencing this world, then perhaps I will end up reading this spin-off. But at the moment, I'm leaning away from reading the spin-off because I'm not loving this series that much. There are aspects that I really like, and I have rated the individual books pretty high, but there's something that's just missing, and it's deterring me from continuing to read a whole other series that relates to it. So I'll see how it goes when I continue and complete not only this book but also Lady of Starfire as to whether I read the spin-off series, but right now it's not looking good. Either way, I am going to continue this. Now the thing is, I don't hate it. There are a lot of things that I enjoy. It is a bingeable series, but there's just something that's not quite clicking for me and I don't know what it is. And the fact that I don't know what it is really irritating me. But we are going to continue with this. And then I am also reading Iron Gold, which is the fourth book in the Red Rising series. I really enjoy this series, but I am at the very start of this because I am so scared about what's going to happen to the characters, how their storylines are going to continue, not only in this book but in the series as a whole. There are so many characters in here that I really love, specifically Severo and Mustang are probably my favorite two characters, and I just don't know what's going to happen and I'm a bit scared, I'm a bit worried. And I think that's what's stopping me from picking this up so often, but I do want to make this a bit more of a priority and make somewhat of a dent in this. And then the other book that I'm currently reading is the second book in this series. So the first book is The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Now I've heard so many good things about this book and this series. I think it's a 16 book series, so it's a pretty big series. Now this first book I ended up giving 3 stars, and the second book, The Royal Assassin, I'm listening to as an audiobook, and about a third of the way through I nearly DNF'd it, and I don't know what it was, but I pushed through it and now I'm liking it again. The thing is, I've heard so many good things about the other books in the series that I think I will really love, but the fact that I'm having to push through this first trilogy is worrying me a little bit, so I don't know how that's going to go and how far into the series I'm going to end up getting. I do enjoy it, but I'm not loving it, and I don't know if I'm enjoying it enough to commit to 16 books. So we'll see how that one goes, but at the moment I am also listening to Royal Assassin. This evening I'm going to relax. I might do a little bit of reading, probably not, but if I don't do any reading, then I will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow in general I will probably take Iron Gold with me, and I'm also going to take my Kindle because I have Lady of Embers in there. I have both of these books as an audiobook as well because I've been doing immersive reads of them. I've really been enjoying immersive reads, so I will take Iron Gold and Lady of Embers in Kindle format tomorrow, and I will probably switch between the two of them. I don't know which one I'm going to start with and which one I'm going to read where. I might read a little bit in the park with both of them, maybe a bit of both in the silent book club, I don't know. We'll see how it goes tomorrow, but I'm going to focus on these 2 books over this weekend. Good morning. I am heading into London. It's about 10:20 in the morning, so I'm making my way to the train station. Okay, so I've managed to get to the park. It took longer to get here than I thought it would. Last time I came to this area, I think I must have taken a different route because it didn't take this long last time, but it's now about 12:10. So it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought I'd get here at about 11:30, maybe 11:45, something like that, but it did take a little bit longer. Anyway, I'm here now. There's a race going on, so I didn't manage to get as far into the park as I thought I would. I've kind of just stopped towards the front because I didn't firstly want to disrupt what was going on with the race, and secondly, the further in I went, the longer I'd have to walk to get back, and I'm already kind of later than I thought I would be in terms of getting to the park. But I'm here now. I was listening to Lady of Embers on the way here, and now I think I'm going to switch to Iron Gold. I think that's what I'm in the mood to read. I will probably stay about 40, maybe 50 minutes and then head back towards the station. There's quite a few cafes around there, so I want to go to a cafe, have some food, maybe an iced drink, and then I can do a bit of a walk, do some window shopping, some book browsing. There's a bookstore towards the station, and also there's another one towards where the silent book club is going to be, so I also need to make sure I plan for the time it will take to get to the silent book club as well. Also, I bought this new water bottle a couple of days ago which has like this flip lid for the straw, which I absolutely love, and I'm so glad that I bought it. I filled it up with water and ice before I left home, so that has really saved me on the trains and right now because I need some water. I of course bought the crochet bookcase that I made a couple of weeks ago or last week, and it fits not only my actual book but also my Kindle in there together, so I'm so glad that I made it bigger than it needed to be because now I can fit both of those in there. But I am going to get Iron Gold out and start reading that. Okay, so I think I'm going to have a bit of a change in plan. I am not very comfortable where I'm sitting just because, I mean, I don't have a picnic blanket, which is making a difference. And I think the spot that I've chosen is just not the best location to be sat at. And I really don't want to get in the way of the race because people are still going by and running. So I think I'm gonna walk a little bit, listen to the audiobook of Iron Gold, and then I think I'm gonna head towards where the cafes and stuff are, walk a little bit there, maybe do a bit of book browsing, and then find a cafe to sit down, read, eat, have some hydration, nutrition, because I feel like that's what I need right now. And if I try and sit here and read, first of all, I'm not comfortable. Secondly, if I then try and fit in everything else in terms of the going to a cafe, doing a bit of book browsing, going for a bit of a walk, I'm not gonna be able to fit it all in without rushing. So since this is not what I'm feeling right now, I think I'm actually gonna get up, walk a little bit, head towards a cafe, listen to the audiobook instead. And I will be reading this at the Silent Book Club anyway, so I will still be able to actually sit down and read this later on today anyway. Okay, so I am in fact back home now. Firstly, when I walked around the park a little bit more, I realized I did in fact pick the worst spot to sit in. So I need to remember that for the future, but I got to walk around, see the pond, and it was a good thing that I did leave at that time because I then went to eat. I went to a place called, what was it called? Where the pancakes are, which I've never been to before, but I went there. I didn't have any pancakes, but I did have an avocado on toast, and I had an iced vanilla cold foam latte, which was so nice. I've never had one of those before, but it was so nice. I ended up having two, so I need to learn how to make those at home because it was really nice to have. I ate there. I think I just needed some food at that point, so I'm glad that I ended up leaving the park early. I ate, I had a lot of water, and then I walked around for about 10 to 15 minutes. There was a Waterstones there, so I did look at purchasing the Royal Assassin, which I'm currently listening to. I didn't end up getting it because it wasn't going to fit in my bag, but I think I might order it pretty soon. I did look at my local bookstore a couple of days ago to see if they have it, and they didn't, so I think I might end up ordering it. And then I headed to the Silent Book Club. I ended up being about 5 to 10 minutes late, which was so sad. I mean, it was fine. I didn't miss any of the reading, but I was a little bit later than I thought I would be. When I planned out the route yesterday, it wasn't going to take as long to get there as it did, but a few of the trains were delayed, and so that meant that I ended up being later than I expected to be. So in the future, when I go to those book clubs, I'm just gonna get to the place or around the area earlier than I did today, because I think that's what I did last time and it worked really well, and I could always find like a cafe, or there must be a park around there that I could read in next time, so I'll remember that. But the Silent Book Club was so fun. I did end up reading Iron Gold. I love the fact that my crochet case fits my book and my Kindle because it just gives me the option to take both with me. But I did read Iron Gold at the Silent Book Club. I ended up getting to Chapter 13, so how much percent is that? That's 18% of the way through. I am really liking the book. I'm glad that I've gotten into it a little bit more. I think I just needed to get some reading in to get back into the story. I'm liking where we are. I love that we've still got some of the characters from the original trilogy and we're adding more characters. We've got multiple POVs. I'm really, really enjoying it. I just need to keep going. And I think the fact that I was listening to it on an audiobook actually made me detach from the story a little bit. it. Same with Royal Assassin. I think that's where my issues were coming from with both of those books. So I do think I'm going to try and continue to read the actual book more than I listen to the audiobook. And even when I do an immersive read, because the audiobook is quicker than my actual reading speed, I think it's taking me out of the story a little bit or making me feel a bit more detached from the book than when I actually physically read it. So I am going to try and physically read more because I think that just works better for me. I enjoy it a lot more. Whilst I love audiobooks, they are great in terms of, you know, being able to listen to an audiobook when you're tidying up and things like that. But I think I'm relying on them too heavily and it's causing me to detach from the books that I'm reading. So I'm going to try and read the actual books more often, because I was also reflecting on Royal Assassin, and I think that's maybe what caused me to detach from that story as well, because I actually do like the story and the characters, and I think it would be a series that I will absolutely love. So I think I am going to order, you know, being able to listen to an audiobook when you're tidying up and things like that. But I think I'm relying on them too heavily and it's causing me to detach from the books that I'm reading. So I'm going to try and read the actual books more often, because I was also reflecting on Royal Assassin, and I think that's maybe what caused me to detach from that story as well, because I actually do like the story and the characters, and I think it would be a series that I will absolutely love. So I think I am going to order the Royal Assassin, the second book, and try and read it more in paperback format rather than focusing so heavily on the audiobook. But that's where I got to with Iron Gold. Today was actually really fun. Whilst I did end up rushing around a little bit more than I thought I would, and I didn't get to spend as much time at the park as I thought I would, it was still nice to just go into London, have another bookish day, go to the silent book club. I really love days like this. But I do feel very tired now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freshen up for the evening and I'm just going to chill. I'm currently watching One Tree Hill, so I might continue with that. I don't think I'm going to do much reading today, maybe later on before I go to sleep. But it was a really good day, and then tomorrow we will pick up and update my book journal. My picnic blanket has arrived, so let's have a look at it. Oh my god. Oh, it had a little bow on it, but I've ruined it now. So this is the pattern. So this is what it looks like. It's actually really cute, and it opens up one more time. Okay, it's quite big, which I love. I am thinking about how I'm going to take it with me in the future, because the bag that I took today is the biggest bag that I have, and that was full, and that was without the picnic blanket. So I don't know why I take so much stuff or how that even happens, but I might need to get a bigger bag. I do plan on crocheting a big tote bag for myself, so maybe when I do that I will just make it big enough to be able to fit everything in there. But in the meantime, whilst I haven't made that yet, I don't know what I'll do. But I like this. It's cute. I wanted like a pink and white checkered one, so this is perfect. It's really cute. So I look forward to taking that next time I take myself on a picnic. And in the future, I will first of all give myself more time, and secondly find a better spot to sit in and read. Let's set up my summer TBR for this year. Okay, now I've got a bit of a base set up. I just wanted a little bit of something, because some of the other pages, I like this one, but some of them are a bit boring. Like this is, I love this one, and it's got a bit more going on, so I just want to bring that back into my book journal because I feel like it's been lacking, and I want it a bit summer themed. I'm reading a lot of fantasy books at the moment and things, and I want to keep that going, so I figured I would add a couple of those stickers onto this. Then in terms of the actual books that I want to read, well actually first of all, if we go to my 2025 TBR, so I'm currently reading Lady of Darkness, so that is going to be a priority. This season I'm on book 4, so I have book 4 and 5 left. Then I do want to read The Hunger Games. I think The Light Wielder comes out soon as well, so that will be one. I've read the original Red Rising trilogy, but I'm still continuing with the series, so I've got 3 books left in that. I'm currently on the 4th book. Then I do want to read one of these, but that is not going to be during summer. And then there's a couple of other books as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to start the Shadowhunters world in summer. I feel like that might be more towards autumn time. So let's set this up. What colour do we want? So in terms of the books that I'm currently reading, I want to continue and complete the Lady of Darkness series. So I think Lady of Embers and Lady of Starfire, which are the 4th and 5th books of the Lady of Darkness series. Then I want to continue with the Red Rising series and be caught up with that. Iron, Gold, Dark Age, and I think it's Lightbringer. Then the next series is Royal Assassin Trilogy by Robin Hobb. So I've read the first book and I'm currently listening to the second book. So we've got Royal Assassin and Assassin's West. So these are the main series that I want to read. Then I do have a couple of other books that I want to pick up as well. So the 2 other books, which are, one of them is a continuation of a series and the other one, oh, they're both continuations of series actually. So one of them is Light Wielder, and this comes out June 11th, 2026. And then I also want to read Fallen Stars. This is actually already out, but I'm waiting for the paperback to come out because that's what I want to read. So then there's just one more book series that I want to read this summer because I've never read it before, which is the Hunger Games series. I've never read them and I really want to, so I do want to read that as well. The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and Sunrise on the Reaping. So that is my summer TBR set up. In total we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 books. I do think there's a book that I'm forgetting, so I have got a gap there, but I don't remember what it is. So if I do remember, then it'll end up being 15, but at the moment it's 14 books. Good afternoon. I have in fact updated my summer TBR. So I will be focusing on this side of books first because I have already started a few of the books. I'm reading Lady of Embers, Iron Gold and Royal Assassin. So I just want to keep going with these 3 book series, catch up and complete these, and then I can move on to this side with a couple of extra, with the additional books here and the Hunger Games series. I do think I'm missing one book that I wanted to read as well, so I've left a gap for that. Hopefully I remember, but I think there is one that is missing. But at the moment we have 14 books on here, so that is going to be my summer TBR. I do normally do a monthly TBR, but I decided to do a seasonal one this time just because there are quite a few book series that I'm jumping between, and I want to be able to continue to jump between them and not just restrict myself to just reading one, because I am a mood reader, and so I want to give myself the opportunity to jump between the different ones that I want to read, and these are the ones that I want to focus on over summer. So I will be continuing with these 3 series first. Now, in terms of the conversation that we had yesterday with the audiobook, I think I've been putting too much pressure on my hobbies. Anytime I get some free time, I try and fit as many hobbies as I can into that time, and I think that has bled into my reading as well, where I'm rushing through the books, and that's why I'm reading multiple at the same time, and I've got the audiobooks, so I'm jumping between them all, and I think that is starting to overwhelm me and also cause me to detach a little bit from the stories and the books, because I am enjoying them all and I'm just not giving the books, the storyline, the characters, the world, the time that they deserve in order for me to enjoy it the most, and that is completely my fault, and that is something that I'm going to work work on moving forward, because I do not want to stop with audiobooks. I love audiobooks. I have also really been enjoying doing a crocheting project and listening to an audiobook. It has been working wonderfully. So I think this past week I have maybe taken that to another level where it's just been a bit too much and I've been jumping around with too many different books. Even though I've been enjoying reading multiple books, I just think I've been rushing through them rather than just trying to read and enjoy each of the books. So that's something I'm going to be working on, whether I reduce how many books I'm reading at the same time, or when I do have a book that I'm reading, I focus on it more intently. I don't know what my solution will be, but that is something that I'm going to be working on and reflecting on in the upcoming weeks. And with my other hobbies, I also want to slow down with those a little bit as well, because I mentioned that this spread, I wanted to add some stickers and things, and I really like how that turned out, because the past few pages I have been lacking with that. And I think the reason I have been doing that is because whenever I pick up any of my other hobbies, including one like my book journal, I try and rush through the update that I'm doing rather than just enjoying them. Whereas previous book spreads that I've done that I've really loved, like this Ember Quartet one, or even I think earlier on in the year where I did one based on the Curse of the Siren Queen, I really like how they turned out, and I definitely gave them more time than I have been more recently. So that's something that I'm definitely going to work on with all of my hobbies, including reading, with just slowing down a little bit, not rushing through my hobbies or my reading, and just enjoying them all individually, even if that means I don't get through as much as I would otherwise. In addition to this, at the start of the year, I set a reading goal of reading 30 books, and I've already read 31 books. I thought I was on book 21, but I had a look at my Fable yesterday and I'm on book 31, so I've already hit my reading goal for the year. And I remember when I set up that goal at the start of the year, I wasn't even sure if I was going to hit that. So the fact that I've hit my reading goal and we're midway through the year just goes to show that I'm reading more than I even thought I would anyway. And that is just a reminder that I can slow down. I don't need to rush through this. Yes, there are so many books that I want to read, so many books that I want to enjoy, so many books that I think I will enjoy, whether that's new books that are coming out, whether that's old series that I've never read, whether that's rereads, and then going into my other hobbies. It feels like I'm adding more and more hobbies every week, and so when I do get time to do one of those hobbies, I do want to kind of do as many as I can, and I think that is causing me to not enjoy them as much as I would otherwise. So that is something that I'm going to be working on over the next couple of weeks. But I really had a good time this weekend. I love doing a bookish weekend. I love spending a bookish day in London. Even though yesterday I didn't spend as much time in the park as I thought I would, I still got to explore a new place. I loved going to the silent book club and just spending that time reading Iron Gold, because it definitely helped me get back into the story, and I'm really enjoying that book as well. And I just had a really good day, and I've enjoyed updating my book journal. So I've had a really good time with these hobbies. I just need to kind of reflect on not trying to rush so many things and just enjoy each of them as they come. So that is something that I will be working on in the next couple of weeks. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.